Hello, I'm JW, and in this video, light bulbs, or more correctly they're called lamps, but let's face it, everybody calls them light bulbs, so that's what we call them here. And I've got two of these here, and these are the older type incandescent with the tungsten filament inside. Bayonet cap here, as is commonly used in the UK, and both of these are 60 watts, and of course they're both the same size and pretty much look identical. This particular one is from Sainsbury's, in fact, so there you go, possibly read the writing on the top. And if we take this one here and just put it in the holder over here, I see it lights up no problem, that's perfectly fine, just as you would expect. But the other one is slightly different because this particular one is not a 240 volt item such as that Sainsbury's one was. This one is only rated at 110 volts and it's still 60 watts. So if we would take this and place it in here, bad things might happen. So what we'll do is take this outside and then see what happens when it's put on 240 volts rather than 110. Now this is fairly obvious. So on the left we've got the 60 watt 240 volt bulb there, and on the right we've got the 60 watt 110 volt one. And I've wired them up so they'll both be switched on at the same time. And of course the camera is likely to adjust and do all kind of weird things as the things are switched on, but obviously we're comparing the brightness of the normal one on the left to the 110 volt version on the right. And we'd certainly expect the one on the right to be considerably brighter, obviously because it's being run at more than twice its rated voltage. So let's switch on and see what happens. So there's the power turned on, and as you can see the one on the right of course is substantially brighter than the one on the left, and of course that's no surprise as it's being run at more than double its rated voltage. And the camera's just adjusting there to the relevant white balance and whatever, and notice that the background and everything is lit exclusively by these two lamps now, as if it was the middle of the night. But of course it's still daytime, and this was actually recorded about 3 o'clock in the afternoon outside. So nothing seems to be setting on fire or exploding, so of course we'll just leave this on for a while and see what happens. Okay, we've just switched off the power to both of them there, and as you can see the one on the right there looks a bit more blackened than the one on the left, and of course bearing in mind originally they looked exactly the same, and as the camera adjusts there again you can see that the left one again is fairly white looking, and the one on the right there is certainly a more greyish blackened colour. So let's just have a closer look at that one, and I see there's a definite tint of sort of greyish blackness inside. That rather strange object on the bottom there is the reflection of the table it's standing on. So certainly the appearance has changed, so what we'll do is power them on again, and this time we'll leave it until something breaks or goes wrong in some other fashion. So as before, power on, and again the camera will obviously adjust to the different light colour and brightness. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes now into the test here, and shortly this one is going to do something. So there we go, it just simply stops working. We'll just turn off the power on the other one as well, because of course the test is now complete. So as you see, the one on the left is still the same white colour as it was originally, and the one on the right, which is now broken, is very much darker and grey in appearance. Now here are the two lamps, and this is the one that still works, the normal 240 volt Sainsbury's one there. And this is the 110 volt one, and as you can see the insides have gone a dark colour, and that's because the tungsten filament has essentially evaporated and then been deposited on the inside of the glass, making it obviously a lot darker than it was to start with. And of course it doesn't work anymore because the filament would have thinned out and obviously broken at some point inside. So that's what happens if you put a 110 volt lamp onto a 240 volt supply. It works for a reasonable amount of time, but of course not for very long, and then eventually it just breaks, so no fire or explosion or flames involved. So until next time, thanks for watching.